everybody be like, oh, well, when you turn 30, you might as well just become an adult. And I'm like, you can be an adult and follow your dreams. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways from Rooster. Um, I think people need to binge the show truthfully because the show just has a thoughtful balance of humor and heart. You get a really nice relationship between Greg and his daughter, Katie. And at its core, it's about those authentic relationships that we have every day. And it deals with what people actually really, really go through. So I feel like y'all need to binge it to one, so that way y'all can see how we even got to where we get to in the series in the season finale. But beneath its comedic surface, it's a story about reinventing yourself. It's a story about it's never too late to find your community and pursue new ambitions and start over. And I think that's something that we really need out here in America. I think that pop culture specifically conditions us in a way that when we get to a certain age, you think that, oh, I can't do this. And, the new one is 30. And everybody be like, oh, well, when you turn 30, you might as well just become an adult. And I'm like, you can be an adult and follow your dreams. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways from Rooster. Greg is coming out of a bad breakup, like a lot of us do, and he was hiding himself. But he comes into this new community, and this community embraces him. And I think that that's something that we all could look at. Like, it's a story about rediscovery, but at its core, it's about the heart of what a good community can do for somebody in need.
What was it like? It had to be bananas working with Steve Carell. And I asked this question only because I was on the set of Anchorman 2. So to be around everyone, the cast from Anchorman, I see how they get down. What was it like working with him? And I know it had to be like one-on-one or just in the same vicinity with him on Rooster.
Man, working alongside Steve is just like, of course it elevates the experience of being on the show, but I think a lot of people don't understand how his aura fills a room. I say this a lot. He's very warm. He's very welcoming. And, I had anxiety. I was nervous. I started talking to Steve. I forgot I was nervous. I forgot. It completely went from me that first day on set. Like, we're up and coming actors. We're playing students on a college-based show. And, that's a start for a lot of some of your biggest stars, but this is my biggest role to date. This is some of our biggest role to date. And, you're doing scenes with a comedy legend, but it doesn't feel like that. It almost feels like I'm back at my college acting with my friends, making this comedy is so fun. He listens, he reacts, he stays present.
The Indie Show, All Things Indie Podcast.